Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, so today we're looking at, well, it's a bit of an interesting mix,
Yeah, it is. A little bit all over the place.
but a good all over the place,
I
right?
think so, yeah. We've got luxury travel, we've got nonprofits,
We've got giving back, we've got some international travel, we've got
Nepal.
Nepal, exactly. And it all kind of ties together in a way that I think is really, really fascinating. So,
Yeah, it should be fun.
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I think this is one that people are really going to find interesting. So, where do we even begin with this? This is a lot.
Well, I think the best place to start is with this organization, Give Basic Needs. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
Okay, so they're a private foundation, but, they're not your typical foundation. They have this really unique approach to giving.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you mean by that?
So instead of just like, writing checks or making grants, they actually go out and directly provide aid to people in need, like hands-on, boots on the ground kind of stuff.
So like actually going out and what, like delivering food or building houses?
Exactly, things like that. They call them giving events. So it might be, distributing food in a community that's facing food insecurity, or it could be helping to build shelters for families who have lost their homes, or maybe even providing medical supplies to a remote village that doesn't have access to health care.
Wow. Okay, that's really impressive. So it's like a much more personal, direct approach to philanthropy.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about creating that direct connection between the giver and the receiver. No bureaucracy, no middlemen, just pure compassion in action.
I love that. That's amazing. So tell me more about Give Basic Needs. Who are the people behind this?
Well, the organization is led by this really inspiring couple, Kevin and Abby, and get this, they're actually celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary at the Four Seasons Bora Bora.
Wait, hold on. Bora Bora. As in like overwater bungalows in turquoise waters, Bora Bora.
The one and only.
Okay, I'm officially confused now. How does luxurious Bora Bora tie into, hands-on giving in, I don't know, like some remote village somewhere?
Right. It's a pretty stark contrast, huh?
It is.
But that's actually a big part of what makes Give Basic Needs so interesting. They believe that you can and should enjoy the good things in life while also giving back to those in need.
So it's like they're not saying you have to live like a monk to be a good person, or that you can't enjoy a luxurious vacation if you're also committed to helping others.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, recognizing that we can have both the joy of experiencing beautiful places and the fulfillment of making a difference in the world.
I like that. So it's like they're living proof that you don't have to choose between, living a good life and making a positive impact.
Right, they're walking the walk, so to speak. And speaking of walking the walk, after their anniversary trip, Kevin and Abby are heading to Kathmandu, Nepal.
Okay, see, now we're getting to the Nepal connection, but why Kathmandu? What are they planning to do there?
Well, they're going there to explore the possibility of expanding their giving events to the region.
Interesting. So are they going to be like, building houses in Kathmandu or what?
Well, they're still in the exploratory phase, but they're definitely looking into the needs there. Things like food insecurity, lack of adequate shelter, limited access to medical care. Those really basic, essential needs that everyone deserves to have met.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they're going from like the lap of luxury in Bora Bora to, potentially working in some pretty challenging conditions in Nepal.
It's definitely a journey of contrasts, but that's kind of the point, right? To see the world in all its complexity, to experience both the beauty and the hardship, and to find ways to bridge those divides and make a positive impact wherever you go.
I love that. It's like a real world example of that saying, think globally, act locally, but with a twist, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
So what else can you tell me about their trip to Nepal? Are they connecting with any local organizations there?
That's actually a really important part of their approach. They believe in working with local organizations that already have a deep understanding of the community and the needs there. And one organization that's caught their eye is Putali, Nepal.
Putali, Nepal. I've never heard of them. What do they do?
So Putali Nepal is a nonprofit that focuses on empowering girls and women in Nepal. They do a lot of work around education, economic empowerment, and this is really interesting, they have a big focus on addressing period shaming.
Period shaming. Okay, I'm definitely going to need you to explain that one. What exactly does that mean?
So in some parts of Nepal, there's this ancient practice called chapadi, and it's really unfortunate. Basically, it's this belief that women and girls are like unclean during their periods.
Unclean. Seriously.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this still happens in the 21st century, but it does. And because of this belief, women are often forced to stay in separate huts, away from their families and communities during their menstruation.
Wow, that's awful. That sounds incredibly isolating and dangerous too.
It is. These huts are often in really bad shape, they're unsanitary, and it can be really unsafe for the women and girls who are forced to stay there.
So how is Putali Nepal addressing this? Are they trying to change these cultural beliefs?
That's a big part of it. They're working to educate communities about menstrual hygiene, and they're really trying to break down the taboos and stigma surrounding menstruation.
That's so important, but it must be really challenging to change those deeply ingrained beliefs.
It is. But they're making progress. They're also promoting the use of menstrual cups, like the Ruby Cup, as a safe and sustainable alternative to traditional methods.
So they're providing practical solutions while also tackling those cultural beliefs. That's really impressive.
It is, and it just highlights how important it is to address those basic needs, like menstrual hygiene. Because when those needs aren't met, it can have a ripple effect on other areas of people's lives, especially women and girls.
Absolutely. It makes you realize that something we might take for granted, like having access to safe and hygienic period products, can be a major barrier for girls in other parts of the world.
Right. It can affect their education, their health, their overall well-being.
It's just a powerful reminder of how interconnected we all are.
Exactly. And it goes back to why Give Basic Needs focus on those fundamental needs is so crucial.
I'm curious, though, can Give Basic Needs actually work with an organization like Putali Nepal, given their focus on those direct giving events? I mean, I thought they weren't really into just giving grants to other organizations.
You're right, they're not. And that actually brings up an interesting point about how Give Basic Needs is structured. You see, they're classified as a private operating foundation, which comes with certain restrictions from the IRS.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about these restrictions.
Well, unlike a public charity, a private operating foundation can't just give grants to other organizations. They have to be directly involved in the charitable activities themselves.
So does that mean they can't work with Putali Nepal at all?
Not necessarily. While they may not be able to partner with them in the traditional sense, they're very open to collaboration.
Ah, okay. So maybe they could find other ways to work together, like sharing resources or expertise to maximize their impact.
Exactly. And that's where their commitment to giving without expectation really shines through. It's not about taking credit or controlling the process. It's about working together to make a difference in whatever way they can.
I love that approach. It's so refreshing. It sounds like they're truly focused on the needs on the ground, not on organizational boundaries or ego.
Precisely. And it goes back to that idea of finding those common threads that unite us, rather than focusing on the things that divide us.
I love that. It's like they're building bridges of compassion and understanding, connecting people from all walks of life, from the luxurious resorts of Bora Bora to the bustling streets of Kathmandu.
And it all starts with recognizing that we're all part of this human family, sharing the same basic needs and aspirations. It's about acknowledging our interconnectedness and embracing the opportunity to make a difference in each other's lives.
It's a beautiful vision. And I think it's a perfect segue to talk more about this idea of happy diplomacy. I've been dying to hear more about that since you mentioned it earlier.
Ah, yes. Happy diplomacy. This is where it gets really interesting. So happy diplomacy is all about, using positivity and empathy and understanding to solve problems and bridge divides. It's a really powerful approach, especially when we're talking about, complex issues like poverty or social injustice.
So instead of focusing on what separates us, it's about finding those common threads that unite us.
Right.
Yeah. Those shared human experiences that transcend borders and cultures.
Exactly. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and approaching challenges with a spirit of collaboration and compassion.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm starting to see how all of this ties together now. You've got, Kevin and Abby experiencing the incredible luxury of Bora Bora, and then they're traveling to Nepal to witness firsthand the realities of poverty and inequality. It's like they're embodying this idea of happy diplomacy, right? Bridging those seemingly disparate worlds.
Yeah, it's a powerful juxtaposition, isn't it? And I think it speaks to the heart of what Give Basic Needs is all about. It's not about guilt or pity. It's about understanding and connection. It's about recognizing that we're all part of this global tapestry, and we have a responsibility to care for one another.
It makes me think about how easy it is to get caught up in our own little bubbles, forgetting that there's a whole world out there with people facing challenges we can't even imagine.
It's true, and that's why I think Give Basic Needs approach is so impactful. Those giving events are about more than just providing aid. They're about opening hearts and minds, breaking down those barriers of indifference, and fostering a sense of shared humanity.
Speaking of giving events, I'm really curious to know more about what they actually look like in action. Can you paint me a picture?
Sure, imagine a group of people from all walks of life coming together in a remote village in Nepal. They're working side by side with the locals, maybe helping to build a new school or digging a well to provide clean water. There's laughter, there's sweat, there's a sense of shared purpose and accomplishment.
Wow, that's a powerful image. It sounds like a truly transformative experience, both for the volunteers and for the communities they're serving.
It is. And that's the beauty of Give Basic Needs approach. It's not just about throwing money at a problem. It's about rolling up your sleeves and getting involved, connecting with people on a human level, and seeing the impact of your actions firsthand.
And imagine those experiences can have a lasting impact too, right? Shaping perspectives and inspiring continued giving long after the giving event is over.
Exactly. It's about planting seeds of compassion that can blossom into a lifetime of generosity and engagement.
I'm also curious about how Give Basic Needs decides where to focus their giving events. What criteria do they use?
They're very strategic in their approach. They conduct extensive research to identify communities with the greatest needs and where their resources can have the most significant impact. They look for places where they can partner with local organizations, like Putali, Nepal, to leverage existing networks and expertise.
So they're not just, parachuting in, they're working collaboratively with communities to ensure their efforts are sustainable and truly meet the needs of the people they're serving.
Precisely. And that's why the potential for collaboration with Putali, Nepal is so exciting. They have a deep understanding of the local context, the cultural nuances, and the specific challenges facing women and girls in Nepal.
It seems like a perfect match. You've got Give Basic Needs with their direct action approach and Putali Nepal with their, deep understanding of the local needs and cultural sensitivities. Together, they could create something truly special.
I agree. And it all comes back to that idea of happy diplomacy, finding common ground, building bridges, and working together to create a better future.
It's a powerful vision. And I have a feeling that Kevin and Abby's journey from Bora Bora to Nepal is just the beginning of an incredible story of compassion, connection, and transformative change.
I have that feeling too. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference no matter where we are in the world or what our circumstances may be. Whether it's volunteering our time, donating to a worthy cause, or simply practicing kindness in our daily lives, every act of generosity counts.
It's like those biorock lagoons at the Four Seasons Bora Bora, right?
Hmm.
Where they're using technology to accelerate coral growth and restore the marine ecosystem. It might seem like a small effort, but it has the potential to create a ripple effect, contributing to the health of the entire ocean.
That's a beautiful analogy, and it speaks to the interconnectedness of all things. Our actions, no matter how small they may seem, can have a profound impact on the world around us.
It's inspiring to think about the possibilities when we approach challenges with a spirit of collaboration, empathy, and a commitment to making a positive difference.
It is, and it all starts with that first step, that willingness to reach out, to connect, and to share our abundance with those in need.
I love that. And I think it's a perfect segue to talk about how our listener can get involved.
So for a listener who's, maybe feeling inspired right now, what can they do? What's that first step?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're interested in learning more about Give Basic Needs, they have a great website. You can check them out online.
Yeah, definitely check out the website.
And, you can see what they're all about. You can see some of the projects they're working on. And you can even sign up to volunteer for a giving event if you're feeling really adventurous.
Yeah, and if a giving event isn't really your thing, you can always donate.
That's right.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Every dollar makes a difference, and it all goes directly to, providing those essential needs,
Hmm.
food, shelter, medical care. And it's really about, I think, the intention behind it too, right? Like it's showing that you care, that you're part of this global community and you want to make a difference.
Absolutely.
And even if Give Basic Needs isn't something that really resonates with you, there are so many other ways to practice happy diplomacy, in your own community.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it could be something as simple as, volunteering at a local soup kitchen or or mentoring a young person.
Yeah, or even just, offering a helping hand to a neighbor who's struggling.
Exactly. It's really about looking for those opportunities to connect, to build bridges, and to spread kindness wherever you go.
And it doesn't have to be some big grand gesture either, right? It's often those small everyday acts of compassion that can really make a difference in someone's life.
Absolutely. It's those little things that can brighten someone's day and create a more positive and supportive environment for everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I hope our listeners walking away with a renewed sense of possibility and a deeper understanding of the power of human connection.
I hope so too. It's been an incredible journey, exploring the contrasts between Bora Bora and Nepal, the work of Give Basic Needs in Putali, Nepal, and this whole concept of happy diplomacy.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even in a world that often feels so divided and full of hardship, there's always hope. There's always kindness, and there's always the opportunity to make a difference, no matter how small.
And those ripples of change, those acts of compassion, they have a way of spreading far and wide, creating a more just, equitable, and joyful world for all.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we encourage you, our listener, to embrace the spirit of happy diplomacy, to seek out those opportunities to connect and give back, and to become a catalyst for positive change in your own unique way.
Because even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond our wildest imagination.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
And remember, the journey towards a better world starts with each